Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Coffee Talk Show. I'm Eva, and I'm so happy you're here with us today. Whether you're on your morning commute or just relaxing with a hot drink, this show is all about helping you practice English in the most natural, relaxed way possible. No textbooks, no boring grammar drills, just real conversations and real language. Get comfortable and let's do this.
And I'm James. Great to be back. Every time we record one of these episodes, I feel like I'm just catching up with a bunch of good friends, and that never gets old. Welcome to every single one of you.
Okay, so James, before we get into today's topic, can we just talk about the weather for a second? I stepped outside this morning and wow, it is so gray out there. Like the sky looks like a giant wet blanket.
Oh, totally. It is miserable out there. I looked out the window and just thought, nope, not going anywhere. Staying right here with my coffee. I ended up making a comically large mug this morning.
Ha, same here. I made a latte and stood by the window with both hands around the mug, just staring at the rain. And it was actually kind of cozy. Like cold weather just makes coffee taste even better.
It makes complete sense. There's a Danish word for that feeling, Huga. It means that warm, cozy sense of contentment when you're comfortable inside and the weather outside is bad. Hot coffee on a rainy morning, peak Huga.
Peak Huga. Love that. Listeners, that's your vocabulary note. Huga, H-U-G-G-E, a Danish word now used in English too, meaning that warm, cozy feeling. So, James, what are you drinking today?
Always. Today I'm doing simple black coffee, no frills. I tried the whole fancy pour-over thing this morning, but on a rainy Monday, I just hit the button on the machine and walked away.
Ha, so relatable. Some mornings you're a barista, some mornings you just need caffeine. And actually, this is a perfect transition into today's topic because we're talking about food, and coffee is definitely part of that whole sensory experience.
Absolutely it does. And I love this topic. Food is one of those subjects where everyone has something to say. Everyone has a favorite dish, a story, a memory connected to eating. It's so universal. So today we're talking about favorite foods, our stories, our memories, and some really useful English vocabulary along the way.
Yes, and even if English is not your first language, food is one of the best topics to practice with because the vocabulary is so rich. We're going to use great expressions like mouthwatering, comfort food, hit the spot, and loaded with flavor, and we'll explain them naturally in conversation. James, do you want to start?
Oh man. Okay, so I could talk about my go-to meal, which, by the way, go-to meal is a great phrase. It just means the food you always fall back on, the one you make when you don't know what to cook or when you just really want something satisfying. My go-to is pasta. Always has been, probably will always be. But let me tell you a story first, because I think it'll give you a good sense of my relationship with food. And Eva, this story involves a genuine kitchen disaster, like a disaster of truly epic proportions.
Oh no. Oh, I already love this. Tell me everything.
Okay, so this was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I had just started dating my girlfriend. She's now my wife, so this story has a happy ending, kind of. And I wanted to impress her with a home-cooked dinner. Now, here's the thing. At this point in my life, my actual cooking skills were, let's call them, developing. My real skill was making it look like I could cook. Very different thing.
Oh no, I can already see where this is going.
So I decided for absolutely no logical reason that I was going to whip up a 3-course meal. And whip up is a great little phrasal verb here, listeners. It means to make something quickly and easily, usually food. Like, oh, let me just whip up some scrambled eggs. Easy, casual, quick. But the problem was, I was trying to whip up a 3-course gourmet dinner with almost no experience. Starter, main course, dessert, the whole thing. On a Tuesday night, in a kitchen the size of a closet.
Right. I mean, ambition points for sure.
Huge ambition points, 0 execution points. So the starter was going to be a creamy mushroom soup. I found a recipe online that said it was simple and elegant. That phrase should have been a warning sign right there. Any recipe that calls itself simple and elegant is neither simple nor elegant. I started sautéing the mushrooms, which means cooking them quickly in butter over high heat, and I had the heat way too high. Within about 2 minutes, my kitchen was completely full of smoke, like thick gray smoke just billowing out from the pan. I'm frantically waving a dish towel at the smoke detector. The windows are all open. It's freezing cold outside.
Oh my goodness. Did the alarm go off?
The alarm absolutely went off at full volume. I managed to stop it before my neighbors called the fire department, but barely. So I salvaged the mushrooms, well, the ones that weren't completely carbonized, and I make a soup that honestly tastes like sadness. But I keep going because I am committed. The main course was going to be beef bourguignon, a classic French dish, slow-cooked beef in red wine. Beautiful, rich, mouth-watering when done right. And mouth-watering is one of those fantastic adjectives. It just means something that looks or smells so incredibly delicious that your mouth literally starts to water, like you can almost taste it before you even take a bite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when you walk past a bakery and you can smell fresh bread from outside. That's mouthwatering for sure.
Exactly. Perfect example. So the idea of beef bourguignon is mouthwatering. The reality of my beef bourguignon was a different story. The recipe said to cook it low and slow, meaning at a low temperature for a long time, so the meat becomes really tender. I put it in the oven and then started panicking about the soup and completely forgot to check the timer. When I finally opened the oven door, the beef was so tough you could have used it to resole a shoe. I'm not exaggerating, it was like chewing on a rubber band. And the sauce, the beautiful, rich red wine sauce, had reduced down to basically a dark, sticky paste on the bottom of the pan.
No way. Oh, James. So what did you do? Did you just serve it anyway?
I briefly considered it, yes, for like 30 seconds. I thought maybe she won't notice, but the beef was literally bouncing on the plate when I put it down. There was no hiding it. So I did what any self-respecting person in a crisis does. I called for pizza. I picked up my phone, ordered a large pepperoni pizza, and when she arrived at the door looking beautiful and excited for this fancy dinner, I had to look her in the eyes and say, "So, slight change of plans." She looked past me into the kitchen, saw the absolute carnage, the burnt pan, the smoke-stained walls, the pile of ruined dishes, and she laughed so hard she had tears running down her face.
That is honestly the best story. And the fact that she married you after that says a lot about her character.
It really does. She has the patience of a saint. And you know what? That pizza hit the spot perfectly. And that's a great expression, hit the spot. It means that something, usually food or drink, is exactly what you needed in that moment. Like when you're really thirsty and you finally get a glass of cold water. That hits the spot. Or when you're tired and you have that first sip of coffee in the morning. Hits the spot. So that humble delivery pizza hit the spot 1,000 times more than my disastrous gourmet meal ever could have.
I love that. And honestly, there's something really beautiful about that story. Because the pizza was delicious and simple, and you were both laughing and just being yourselves. That's actually more romantic than any perfectly plated beef bourguignon. And it reminds me so much of something I always say, which is that the best food memories aren't always about the fanciest meal. Sometimes it's about the moment, the people, the feeling, which actually leads perfectly into my story.
Oh, yes, I want to hear this. What's your food story, Eva?
Okay, so mine is very different from yours. No disasters, no smoke alarms, but it's one of my most vivid food memories, and it goes back to my childhood. Every Sunday, my grandmother would make what I can only describe as the most perfect, comforting bowl of soup in the world. A simple chicken broth, clear, golden, with homemade noodles and soft vegetables. Nothing fancy. But to me, as a child, that soup was everything.
Yeah, I can picture it.
Sunday mornings at her house started early, and even before I opened my eyes, I could smell it. The broth had been simmering on the stove since before I woke up, that deep, savory smell of chicken and onion and celery drifting all the way upstairs. I'd wake up, smell that smell, and just feel instantly safe, like everything in the world was okay.
Wow, that's the definition of comfort food right there.
Exactly. And comfort food is such an important phrase in English. It's any food that makes you feel emotionally warm or safe, usually because of a memory or association. It's not always the healthiest, and it's usually simple. Think mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, chicken soup, foods that feel like a warm hug.
Right, and everyone's comfort food is different depending on where you grew up. For someone from Japan, it might be miso soup and rice. For someone from Mexico, maybe tamales. The food itself changes, but that emotional warmth behind it, that's universal.
Back to my grandmother's kitchen, I'd come downstairs in my pajamas, hair still messy, and she'd always be at the stove in her apron stirring the pot. She'd look over her shoulder and say, "Just in time." She always said that every single Sunday. It became our little tradition.
That's so sweet. Those little rituals, they stick with you.
She passed away a few years ago, and I miss her all the time. But every time I make chicken soup, even my own version that doesn't come close to hers, I feel her presence in the kitchen. That's the power of food. It's like a time machine. One smell, one taste, and you're transported completely back.
That gave me chills, Eva. That's beautiful. And it makes complete sense. Scientists say smell is the sense most directly connected to memory and emotion in the brain. So that soup smell carries you right back to that Sunday morning kitchen.
Yes, it's called the Proustian memory effect, named after a French writer who wrote about how a smell transported him back to his childhood. So fascinating. And speaking of cravings, because I'm definitely craving that soup right now, craving is such a useful English word.
A craving is an intense, almost urgent desire for a specific food or drink, stronger than just wanting something. It's like your body is calling for it. I'm craving chocolate right now, or I've been craving spicy food all week, and it can hit you out of nowhere. You're at your desk and suddenly you're desperately craving a burger and can't think about anything else.
Yes, and now that I've told that story, I have such a strong craving for grandmother's soup. I might have to make it this weekend. But James, after the great cooking disaster, did you actually learn to cook or did you become best friends with delivery apps?
A little of both, honestly. But I did learn to cook a few things well after that. My wife, girlfriend at the time, said, "Okay, I'll teach you." And the first thing she showed me was how to make proper pasta from scratch, which is exactly why pasta's my go-to. Learning to make it well was a real turning point in the kitchen for me.
So what's your go-to pasta dish now?
My absolute go-to, and I make it twice a week, is spaghetti aglio e olio, Italian for spaghetti with garlic and olive oil. It sounds almost too simple, but done right, it is honestly to die for. And to die for means something is so incredibly good, it deserves the absolute highest compliment. Obviously, not literally, it just means it's amazing.
Right. Like you'd say, "Oh, that chocolate cake is to die for," or "her voice is to die for." It means absolutely amazing. I love that expression.
The secret is really good olive oil, fresh garlic sliced thin so it gets golden and crispy in the pan, a little chili flake, and fresh parsley. You toss the hot pasta and all of that with a splash of pasta cooking water. That starchy water is a secret weapon that binds everything into a silky sauce. And when the garlic hits the hot oil, the whole apartment smells mouth-watering.
It really does. Okay, I think we should start wrapping up because we have covered so much ground today. We've laughed, we've gotten emotional, I've made myself hungry at least 3 times. But before we finish, let's do our little vocabulary recap. This is the part where we quickly revisit some of the best expressions from today's episode and give you one more example of each so they really stick in your memory.
Let's do it. First, hit the spot. This means something is exactly what you needed in the moment. For example, after a long workout, a cold glass of water really hits the spot. Use it whenever something satisfies you perfectly.
Love it. Next, comfort food. Food that makes you feel emotionally warm and good, usually tied to a memory. For example, when I'm stressed, mac and cheese is my ultimate comfort food. Think about what yours is.
Great one. Now, whip up. This phrasal verb means to make something, usually food, quickly and easily. For example, I can whip up a simple salad in 5 minutes. It suggests ease and speed, just making it happen quickly.
Perfect. And last, to die for. This means something is absolutely spectacular. For example, have you tried that new bakery? Their croissants are to die for. Use it for food or anything else wonderful. It's enthusiastic, expressive, and a great phrase to drop into conversation.
Excellent recap. And listeners, this week's challenge, tell someone about your favorite food in English. Describe the smell, the texture, the taste. Tell the story behind it and use at least 2 expressions from today. Share it with us if you feel brave. We love hearing from you.
And now, if you're enjoying the English Coffee Talk Show, please take a moment to subscribe wherever you're listening. On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, hit that subscribe or follow button so you never miss a new episode. We put out new content regularly.
And turn on notifications. One little button makes a huge difference. When notifications are on, new episodes show up for you automatically. No more missing out. That little bell is one of the best ways to support creators like us, and we truly appreciate it.
And if you have a couple of extra minutes, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Even just a few sentences helps us so much. Reviews help other English learners discover us, which means more people get to join this wonderful community. That means the world to us.
It really does. Okay, I think that's a wrap for today's episode. What a good one this was. We talked about the weather, we talked about coffee, we had cooking disasters, we had beautiful childhood memories, we got emotional, we got hungry. Honestly, this is just the best job.
It really is. Listeners, thank you. Thank you for giving us your time today. The fact that you keep showing up and keep practicing, that is something to be genuinely proud of. You're making progress. Celebrate that.
Well said, Eva. All right, everyone. Until next time, keep your coffee hot, keep your English flowing, and keep those conversations going. I'm James.
And I'm Eva. We'll see you in the next episode of the English Coffee Talk Show. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.